Hello and welcome to Reroll, my name is Angus Morrison and oh my god, there's Bioshock DLC! This literally came out of nowhere. On July 30th, about lunchtime GMT, Bioshock Infinite's first piece of DLC, Clash in the Clouds, appeared. Just casually appeared on Steam. It is the first of 3 pieces of DLC, the others being a 2-part expansion titled Burial at Sea, which features Booker and Elizabeth placed in the watery setting of the original Bioshock. Clash in the Clouds offers something a little lighter. It's a collection of 4 wave-based arenas for you to battle your way through, completing additional blue ribbon challenges, improving your gear, and competing for high scores. It's safe to say then that it fulfills my first criterion for good DLC. It offers something that cannot be experienced in the base game, unless of course I missed the wave-based combat minigame woven into the original. So my next question has to be, do we want this? Combat has been repeatedly flagged up by critics as one of Bioshock Infinite's weakest elements, so the choice to single it out for its own DLC seems a peculiar one. I don't, however, subscribe to the idea that Bioshock's combat is weak in itself. Rather, it suffered from being shoehorned into a sweeping story for, well, something to do. Packaged as dedicated arenas gives the combat the chance to stand on its own 2 feet, and I'm here to ask whether it succeeds. You start with nothing. Weapons and vigors accrued in the base game do not carry over to Clash in the Clouds. On spawning into the Archaeological Society hub, you're presented with a pistol and 4 base vigors, namely Undertow, Devil's Kiss, Bucking Bronco, and Possession, and given access to the Ops Zeal, the first of Clash's 4 arenas. The logic behind the ill-equipped start is to build your arsenal between waves. Each enemy grants Silver Eagles, which can be expended on the standard vigor and weapon upgrades before progressing to the next challenge. There's certainly merit in the system. Being limited in your approach demands diverse strategy, and the cash bonuses for combo or environmental kills should incentivize breaking out of your standard rhythm. But it's not without its flaws, and the fact that your upgrades are saved between every game wreaks havoc with the overall difficulty. The rate at which you accrue new upgrades tends to outstrip the increasing difficulty of subsequent arenas. I found the first arena, before I'd amassed the full arsenal of upgraded vigors and assault bar the size of the sun, to be much harder than the second, at which point repeatedly undertowing foes into shock traps netted me more cash than I could possibly spend. This in fact reduced the variation required of the early stages. It's tempting to argue that upgrades should not have been cumulative. A streamlined system wherein fewer upgrades were reset between each game would have presented a much more reliable challenge than exists at present. For the completionist though, a second layer of difficulty is in place in the blue ribbon challenges, specific actions which can be performed on individual waves of a game. They range from the bafflingly simple, such as avoid taking damage for 30 seconds, to the devilishly hard, like defeat an enemy affected by Bucking Bronco with a possessed motorized Patriot. They are essentially achievements, and though they do add a fun twist to a wave, it's hard to know how driven people will be to attempt them. The reward for completing a blue ribbon challenge is a large cash bonus, but the base cash flow is already too high to be spent. Then there's the issue of score. Leaderboards are in place and blue ribbon challenges provide a big boost to your ranking, so if you're into score chasing, these make up the bulk of the game. But this has serious implications for the gameplay, because if you're not intent on setting a high score, death becomes meaningless. On each death you have the ability to start again from wave 1, or to forfeit your ranking and continue. And that's continue from exactly where you left off, not the beginning of the wave. There's no financial penalty, and even falling off the arena will plop you straight back up again. It wildly reduces the skill and situational awareness needed to beat Clash's challenges. Survival should be the heart and soul of wave-based combat, not a secondary achievement. It's not completely devoid of difficulty. Levels which pit you against multiple handymen and patriots simultaneously require quick reflexes to get off the necessary hits, and in this respect the final arena, Emporia Arcade, picks up the slack considerably. And overall, it is fun, and for only £4, taking to the skylines once more has a certain simple joy to it. But it is just that, simple. It feels less like a meaty arena challenge and closer to a combat minigame, a refresher course to appease the season pass owners before the real business begins with Burial at Sea. If you have a season pass, there's really no reason not to give Clash in the Clouds a try, but if you've completed Bioshock Infinite on hard or 1999 mode, don't expect it to put up a fight.